Warm greetings from English Flight Academy. I hope all my students are doing well. New viewers are requested to subscribe to our channel English Flight Academy and hit the bell icon so that you get the notifications of all the newly uploaded videos. Click the like button if you feel it's worth liking, and do share it with the members of the family and friends so that they become expert in this language. Today we'll be learning voice, active voice and passive voice. Before we proceed to learn today's lesson, let's learn transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. What exactly a transitive verb is? A transitive verb is a verb which has an object. For example, Seema likes cricket. The verb likes has an object, cricket. So likes is a transitive verb. What is an intransitive verb? A verb which does not have an object is an intransitive verb. For example, Seema walks fast. The verb walks does not have an object. So walks is an intransitive verb. I already told you to learn conjugation of verbs because this is the foundation of learning tenses and active and passive voice and even direct and indirect speech. So please master conjugation of verbs. That's already given in the previous videos. In the description box you can check the PDF and you can learn it thoroughly. The verbs can be written in active and passive voice. A transitive verb has two voices. A transitive verb is a verb which has an object. So it has two voices, active voice and passive voice. Look at the sentence on the screen. Atul writes a letter. What is the action performed? Writing. What is the subject of the verb writes? Atul. Who performs the action of writing? Atul. So in this sentence, the subject of the verb performs the action named in the verb. This sentence is said to be in the active voice. The subject Atul is the doer of the action. The subject Atul is the doer of the action. Okay, and it is in simple present tense. If you note it, subject plus verb 1 plus s or es plus object. That means it's in simple present tense. It's an active voice, and how does it change into passive voice? We'll learn in the upcoming slides. Now consider this sentence. A letter is written by Atul. What is the action performed? Writing. What is the subject of the verb is written? A letter. Here the subject, a letter, receives the action named in the verb is written. This sentence is said to be in passive voice. My dear students, a sound knowledge of tenses is essential to deal with this aspect of grammar in an apt manner, that is active and passive voice. So let's quickly revise tenses chart. Following are the 12 kinds of tenses which you need to learn thoroughly. Simple present tense, present continuous tense, present perfect tense and present perfect continuous tense. Simple past or past indefinite, past continuous, past perfect and past perfect continuous. Simple future or future indefinite, future continuous, future perfect and future perfect continuous tense. You need to learn the structures of active voice thoroughly so that you can learn the structures of passive voice thoroughly. Everything depends on tenses. So please understand the importance of learning tenses and go back and watch the videos which are extensively dealt in this topic called tenses. It is clear from the chart that there are in all 12 kinds of tenses. However, out of these kinds, the following 4 kinds cannot be changed into the passive voice. Present perfect continuous cannot be changed into passive voice. Past perfect continuous cannot be changed into the passive voice. Future continuous and future perfect continuous also cannot be changed into the passive voice. Let's learn tense-wise study of the voices. I'll deal with the present tense and then I'll explain past tense and future tense with the help of a chart. How it changes from one voice to another voice. Like we'll learn the active voice formula and we'll learn the passive voice formula in the upcoming slides. So here I took the example of only simple present tense. Study the following sentence very carefully. Atul writes a letter. The above sentence is in present indefinite or simple present and has three requirements there. Subject, that is Atul. First form of the verb, that is verb 1. So we write S or ES when the subject is singular, right? So writes and object is a letter. It means for an active voice in the simple present tense, we can frame the following formula. Subject plus verb 1 plus object. When do we use that? With I, we, you, they. And subject plus verb 1 plus S or ES, we use it with he, she or it. Very simple to understand. I, we, you, they, the first one, subject plus verb 1 plus object. And he, she, it, that is singular subject, then we are going to use subject plus verb 1 plus S or ES plus object. Now let's learn how to change the active voice into the passive voice. There are 5 steps to be remembered. Please note them down. The object takes the position of the subject. This is followed by ism are according to the demand of the new subject, previously object. Then ism are plus helping verbs. You all know ism are helping verbs. Then write HV for them. Okay, for helping verbs we are using the short form HV. Ism are is followed by the third form of the verb in passive voice, that is verb 3. And this form of the verb is followed by, preposition by. And by is followed by the subject. Please note down these points. These are very, very important points when we are converting or transforming active voice into the passive voice. So considering the above points, we get the following formula. Atul writes a letter, that is subject plus verb 1 plus S or ES plus object. But in the passive voice, as I told you, object plus ism are plus verb 3 plus by plus subject. A letter is written by Atul. Look at the formula, how it is changing, right? Subject plus verb 1 plus S or ES plus object is actually the active voice formula, and when we are changing it into passive voice, it's object plus ism are plus verb 3 plus by plus subject. So a letter is written by Atul. It is in simple present tense. Please remember that. So let's see the chart showing transformation from active to passive in present tense. So here the active voice formula and the passive voice formula, look at the change there. Simple present tense, subject plus verb 1 plus S or ES plus object. Here it changes to object plus ism are plus verb 3 plus by plus subject. In all the passive voice formulae, we always use verb 3. Please make it a point. So here Atul writes a letter is written by Atul. Then in continuous tense it changes, subject plus ism are plus verb 1 plus ing plus object. Here object plus ism are plus being plus verb 3 plus by plus subject. Atul is writing a letter is being written by Atul. Then in present perfect tense, subject plus has or have plus verb 3 plus object, that's the active voice formula. And in passive voice, it becomes object plus has or have plus been plus verb 3 plus by plus subject. Atul has written a letter has been written by Atul. Now look at the past tense, the chart showing transformation from active to passive in past tense. So in active voice, for simple past, it will be subject plus verb 2 plus object, and then the passive voice will be object plus was or were plus verb 3 plus by plus subject. Atul wrote a letter was written by Atul. Then in continuous, past continuous, subject plus was or were plus verb 1 plus ing plus object, And in passive voice it will be object plus was or were plus being plus verb 3 plus by plus subject. So the example is Atul was writing a letter was being written by Atul. Then in past perfect tense, subject plus had plus verb 3 plus object, and in passive voice it will be object plus had plus been plus verb 3 plus by plus subject. Atul had written a letter had been written by Atul. So now in future tense, the chart showing transformation from active to passive in future tense. In future tense, only two tenses can be converted from active voice to the passive voice. Simple future, subject plus will plus verb 1 plus object, and in passive voice it will be object plus will be plus verb 3 plus by plus subject. Atul will write a letter will be written by Atul. And in future perfect it will be subject plus will plus have plus verb 3 plus object. Atul will have written a letter will have been written by Atul. In Let's Talk session, please say it out loud with me. Identify the tense here in the following sentences and then change it to passive voice. She makes a doll. Now you need to change it to passive voice by applying the passive voice formula. I am writing a book on grammar. I am writing a book on grammar. I finished my work. They were consulting their teacher at that time. I had finished my work by that time. I'll teach him a lesson. I gave your wristwatch to her. She'll deliver a speech on the occasion. She'll have posted this letter tomorrow. Mr. Vasudev is publishing a book on objective English. So that's the end of part 1, voice. The topic which we dealt today is voice. In the upcoming video, I'll be dealing with the interrogative statements and the negative statements, how to change them from or transform them from the passive, active to the passive, and then passive to the active will be taught. So new viewers are requested to subscribe to our channel English Flight Academy and do watch the previous videos if you haven't understood today's topic, and click the bell icon if you want to get notified for all the upcoming videos in grammar series, and like if you feel it's worth liking, and do share it with the members of the family and friends. Let them learn English for free. Until we meet next, keep learning. Thank you and bye-bye.